So today we are going to talk about two important functions in Power BI which are also important for the interviews as well. The first function that we are going to talk about is same period last year function, and the second function that we will be talking about is parallel period function. So first of all, we will start with the same period last year function. So just to give you the idea before we get started, what do you think this function would be about? Let's just say we have got the sales data for the year 2021 and 2022. Let's say currently March 2022 is going on, and you want to know March 2021, that exactly at the same time. So today is March 2022. Exactly at the same time last year is what? What is the time exactly at the same time last year? It is March 2021. So exactly at the same time, what was the total cumulative sales that we want to find out? So that can be find using the same period last year function. If you have understood, great. If not, no problem. It's very easy. We'll quickly start working on this. The first thing that we have to do is create the new measure. For that, go to Table Tools ribbon and click on New Measure. Then let's say that same period last year. Let's say this is the function. Let's say this is the measure that we want to create. First of all, we'll use the calculate function. Within calculate function, we will be doing the sum. Sorry, my bad. We will be doing the sum. So I'll use sum function, and sum of what? So we will be doing the sum of this sales amount. Okay. Then comma filter one. What do you think would be the filter one? Obviously, the filter one would be the same function that we are trying to, that is same period last year. So I'll use same period last year function. Okay. And then we need to provide date. Where do you see the dates? There is a date column, right? So we'll use this date column, that is sales data table date column. And then I will close this, click enter. So now we have created the new measure also. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll try to quickly show you. Let's see if that works or we are getting some error. Let's see. So let's say this is the table that we want to create. First thing that we have to do is we'll have to, let's say, add the date. So within the date, I don't need everything. I will remove quarter, I will remove day, and I can see this is year, this is month. Okay, this should be good enough. Now I will add the sales amount. As we can see now, I know it's little small, so what I'll do, I'll quickly make this little big. Sure, now this is visible to all of you. Okay, so now as we can see from this data, uh, we can see the sale for January month is 250, for February it's 450, for January 2022 it's 220. So we can see the sales, right? But what we want is same period last year function when we use. So let's say it's January 2022. This column should give me 250, because at that time January 2021 the sale was 250, right? So like that we should get for every single month. Will that happen? Let's see. Or we may get an error. So I'll just add the, okay, I have added the new measure, but we have got the blank values, and I'll tell you why. Because we'll have to create the new calendar table that is not yet created. That's why Power BI is getting confused. Now how do we create a new table? Go to Table Tools and then click on New Table, and let's say this is the calendar table. So I'll call this as CAL table. Okay, and we will use the calendar function. So calendar function, as you know, the first 202101, sorry, 0101, this is the start date, and let's say the end date that I want is 31 December. Okay, and now I will close this, and this should create a calendar table for me, which has been created. The next thing that we have to do is we need to build a relationship between these two tables, calendar table and the existing sales data table we have. So I'll just drag and drop this. Now we have created the relationship. Now we will see how is the visual reflecting. Okay, now as we can see some data is there. Okay, Now if you have a look at this carefully, 1st January, okay, this should reflect us the exact data on the date 1st January 2022. 1st January 2022 sales amount is 100. Okay, then 1st February, what is the count reflecting? 1st February, the count is reflected as 200. Okay, now pay a very detailed attention here. Now, pay attention here. Now if you see this, for the February month, total sale was 200 plus 250, 450 should have been here. Okay, but still it is reflecting 200. Why? That is because the date is 1st of February. The next 250 sales is after 1st of February, that is 19 February, it is not considered. If the date here was, let's say, 19 February or 20 February, then this would have got added. What does that tell us? That tells us when we use same period last year function, even the dates are being considered. Now, during the answer for this question in interviews, you need to keep this in mind. Even the dates are being considered. Okay, right? If you're not clear, watch this again. Otherwise, you can skip this part. Okay, I want to explain this again. For the month of February, for on 1st February 2022, the sale count is reflecting as 200 because that's the count on 1st of February. 19th February there is 250, but that is not considered considering the date. Okay, for the March 2022, let's see, 1st March 300. So March 300, that is fine. Other, I think going forward it looks okay. So 1st April 350. So April is 350. So this is reflecting correctly, right? So this is how we can get the same period last year values. Okay, I don't think it's difficult at all. Okay, if you work on this. Okay, so this is one thing. The next function that we want to work on is parallel period function. So let's start working on the parallel period function. How do we work on that? Again, we'll do the same thing. We will be creating a new measure. So I'll click on new measure, and this time around the measure name is parallel period. Okay, parallel period. Now again, we'll use the calculate function. As usual, we would be doing the sum. So I'll use the sum function. Obviously, sum of what? Because we need the sums, right? If we want to show this, if you want to do this comparison, the sum of the sales amount. Then I'll close this, comma. The next thing that I want is the function, that is parallel period function. So I'll use this parallel period function. Then I'm asked to share the dates. Where do you see the dates? You tell me. This is the date column. So I'll use this date column, that is sales data date. Then comma, a number of intervals. Number of intervals, what do you think should be the number? Let's say I want to know the data for last month, so I'll take -1. So see, when I want the parallel period, what will happen in parallel period function? Let's say today is March 2024. I want the data for Feb. So what I will do, -1, and next interval I will provide month. Okay, so like that you can manage it in your way. So I'll do -1 and then I'll provide month filter. Okay, not quarter or year, and I'll close this. So obviously, I mean, now you need to use your common sense and think about it. Because I want the data that is just 1 month back, that's why I have given -1 and month. Let's say I want the data. Today is, let's say, no, March 2024, and let's say I want the data that is 4 months back. So what I will do, -4 months. Let's say I want the data that is 1 year ago, okay, as compared to the today's date. So what I'll do, -1 and year. Similarly for quarters. So I think you should be sensible enough to play around this. Okay, I'm just giving you the basic idea, and I'm sure you must have understood this. Okay, so now let's close this measure. Now we have created this measure. Now we'll make a use of this. So let's create one more table. Now let's create one more table. I'll drag this, and let's say I will add the same thing that I did some time ago. First thing that I need is date. So I will add date. The next thing that I need is so it's a sales data, so I will need sales amount, so I will add sales. And now it is reflecting the count of a sales amount of for the every single date. Okay, now the next thing that I will do is I will add the newly created parallel period. Okay, parallel period measure. So I'll click on this and let's see what happens. So as we can see and as we expected, on 1st February, what do we see? On 1st February, we see the previous month. See, we can see the sum like 100 plus 150. Okay, I'll just hold on. I'll just make this a little bigger. I'll just copy this and apply. Just 1 minute. Okay, now let's have a look at this table after using the parallel period function. As I said, previous month's data is expected. So when we talk about 1st February, we are expecting January month's data. And what is the sale for January month? 100 plus 50, that is 250. So we can see 250 is here. Then again for February month is there, so obviously it will reflect January month data. Now this is 1st March. Okay, now in the month of March, the table is supposed to give us the data for the February month sum. What is the February month sum? 200 plus 250, 450. It is reflecting correctly, right? So this is how we can make use of the parallel period function. Now the last and the most important part. What is the exact difference between the same period and parallel period? If you recollect, I told you one thing, that when we were talking about the same period last year function, even the dates were being considered, as I told you in the beginning and some time ago as well. But that does not happen when it comes to parallel period. It will give you the summation of everything. So for instance, let's say if we use -1 and year, okay, it will not consider the uh, like same period, like the other function, it will not consider it. And as you can see, previous year's data is getting reflected directly. It will not think about the month wise or date wise data, right? So that's the difference. Okay, when you want to have the granular level of accumulation, in that time you use same period last year function. If you want the summation, then you can use the parallel period function. So again, I'll make it this -1 and month, so that this would make more sense. But I'm very sure that you have definitely understood this. If you still find it a little difficult, these two things to learn in just one session, it's absolutely fine. All I think what you should do is, I'm sharing the data set and this desktop and I'm sharing the data set and also this Power BI desktop file. I would request you to practice this. Watching will not help. Okay, it will give us the false feeling that no, we are learning something. It's okay to watch it once or twice, but after that, it's important that you practice. Thank you for watching. Bye.